I begin in the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful, the one Creator, to whom all praises are forever due. May the peace and blessings of Almighty God be upon you. It is my extreme honor to have the privilege to come before you this evening, myself and Mr. Chase and Genges, to speak on a very relevant topic that is prevalent in this country, and is suicide, which is affecting the lives of so many people in Guyana and throughout the world. But before we go into that, I would like to take this opportunity to convey uh, my deep and sincere condolences to the Sukra family, who is my neighbor. He passed away, and he has been an adopted father to me, and it's a loss of extraordinary value, and I pray that Almighty God will descend His Spirit of strength and comfort upon the bereaved family. But as we are here this evening to talk about suicide and the negative implications that suicide has in Guyana and throughout the world, but we want to concentrate here for a minute because so many people have come forward and share aspects of their knowledge and solutions to the problem that is affecting us. But suicide is not something that just happens. A person wakes up and says that, you know what, I'm going to take my life. Suicide is something that an individual contemplates for quite some time. And it doesn't begin with suicide, it starts with stress, which is accumulative psychological distress that affects us, our cognition, affects our psychological, physiological function, and even in our behavior. And stress in its progressive state leads to depression. Depression is a mental illness that makes one feel hopeless, helpless, useless. You feel estranged, you feel isolated, you feel rejected, you feel alone. And depression can trigger suicide, where one is contemplating self-harm, believing that they have found an end to their problem. And this is not so. There are other alternatives that an individual can utilize to come out of a situation like that. But before I go any further, I would like to introduce Mr. Chase and Genges and let them have their time to say something.
Our viewers, I want to say a special good night to every one of you, especially the cross and length of breadth of Guyana. First thing, let me say this. Suicide, I lately have print out some papers that stop suicide, turn to God and value lives. Life is very important. And you know, Winston, this life is so precious, that we don't go to market to buy this. And this is what's important. People now, just a little things, they want to commit suicide. And suicide, there's such of many things between that. There's most important that faith, faith. And our human being, many of us do not have the kind of faith. And I surely, Winston, that people need to turn to God. And God is important. I mean, we sit on this panel here today, and we can do all. But the parents needs an important role to play. Send them to the mandir, send them to the mass, send them to the church. Get them involved in sports and all these kind of things. This is how important suicide. Don't leave them like, when a rat is running in the home. It's important that people have to learn. Because when they have the freedom, you know what happened? They go and do all sort of things when they're supposed to be done, And then they blame this body and that body. And when somebody holler from them, long time when your parents holler upon you, you sit very cool. But nowadays, who children you can holler from? Next thing, when the parents holler, suicide.
Mm-hmm.
They premeditate. Some of them premeditate to do it. And this is very important. Our country need that more of the churches, the mandir and the masjid and the beijing, the pastor, all leader in every community to brings out a solution for suicide. Right, sir?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, John.
Yes, well, a very good night to each and every one of you out there. What I would like to say is that nobody would like to kill himself. Suicide leads of several, several problems, and nobody would like to kill himself. For instance, if you got a family in bed that's sick, would you love or would you like to your family to die? No. You would sell out your house. You would do anything on earth to save your family. No man, I don't think no man would love to kill themselves. Even if you're at home in the night and you just switch on your light and there's a rat or a cockroach, what would it do? It would run for their life. You know why? They don't want their life to go. But simple problem, like for instance, a young boy and a young girl fall in love. The girl might be young and the boy might be older, for instance. Now, the parents agree, the girl go and drink poison or hang herself. We need the pastor, the pandit and the Meiji to come about and teach these young children about life. Not everything you fall in love. Nobody cannot explain love up to now. Nobody cannot explain love. And I wish if somebody could come right now and explain the word love to me. Everybody just fall in love. You don't fall in love because you're going to kill yourself. You understand? This world here is, what I must say, this world is a short time you're living for. And why you must kill yourself? Nobody want to kill himself. Nobody in earth would like to kill himself. Everybody understand? Mm-hmm. Yes, tell him.
Yeah, well, as Mr. Chase said, that parents are responsible to a large degree for the proper grooming and raising of a child. There are three main institutions that are responsible for the proper development of a child. And the first institution is the home, where a child learns basic mannerism: good morning, good afternoon, excuse me, please, thank you.
Correct.
And the parents would instill certain values in a child, family values. The second institution is the church, the temple, or the mosque, where a child develops a moral and spiritual foundation and understands spiritual values. Understand that God is there first, and that God is the creator and the source of all of our answers. Let me tell you something. Politicians, imams, pundits, even though we're asking them to come forward, they don't have the solutions to the problems that are confronting us today. They themselves cannot get out of the problems that they have created throughout the world. The answer to the problems that we are faced with today is God. God is the only person that can deliver a solution that is workable for all of us. And the root cause of our problem is spiritual. And the third institution that is responsible for the proper raising of the child is the schools, the institutions, the colleges, the universities, where the child ascertains secular wisdom. What separates the human being from the lower animals of the earth is that we have the ability to think, to reason, to acquire knowledge, and to use that knowledge to create a comfortable life for ourselves and our family. Animals have instinct. They are intelligent, but in comparison to us, their intelligence are considered instinct because we are made in the glory. We are the glory of God. And what separates us from the animal is that we can think and reason. Now, when you think about committing suicide, that is an irrational, negative way of thinking. That you feel that life isn't worth living anymore. Well, let me say to you, if there is somebody out there that is contemplating self-harm or contemplating suicide, they are working on educating counselors and other individuals to look for signs in a person that is suffering from depression. But what about if nobody is around to listen to that individual, to counsel that individual? I want to talk to you today, this evening, because the way you think has a lot to do with how you feel. Your thoughts can affect your emotions, and the way you think can affect what you say. There is something that is called self-talk, and you can talk yourself into feeling depressed, and you can talk yourself into feeling happy. When you're stressed out, your brain is a chemical factory that produces endorphin, which gives you a natural high. Endorphin has the effects like the drugs that is called morphine. And the word morphine comes from two words. Morpheus, meaning the god of sleep and dream, and endogenous morphine. Endogenous comes from create from within. So the brain naturally produces endorphin to keep your mood and your spirit high. When you are stressed out, you exhaust the natural supply of endorphin that the brain produces naturally, and that lowers your mood and everything seems gloomy to you. So what you need now, or what a doctor would prescribe, is a synthetic representation of what your brain produces naturally to keep you up. Nowadays, they are not focusing on give you any kind of therapy. What they're doing is give you drugs. And the pharmaceutical company are manufacturing these drugs and are giving incentives to doctors to prescribe them for you. Antidepressant. Look at the word. Anti means against. Depressant means D means down and press means to press down. So when your mood and you press yourself down based on how you think, anti now is to lift you up when your brain produces that naturally. So now you resort to abusing alcohol, abusing drugs and sex. And what that does is that, when you're sick or you get into an accident, they could see the injury. They could say, well, we have to give you 20 stitches or 10 stitches. Or if a leg is broken, an x-ray could determine whether it's fractured or it's broken or what. But when someone has emotional injuries, it is difficult to determine because you cannot do an x-ray and see the degree of damage. And oftentimes doctors misdiagnose people and give them wrong treatment and making them more sick. So what I want to say to you is that in your own mind, in your own thinking, you can deliver yourself from any negative emotion that is affecting you. Yes, stress is something that we cannot avoid entirely. But what we could do is that we could cushion the impact of stress by engaging in certain activities that would help us to overcome the negative effects of stress. And I'll get into that in a few minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah. The more important things, for instance, that when you said about parents, when I tell you about parents have an important role to play, right? And an important role to tell the children what is right and what is wrong, And sometimes, maybe you get 5 children. Sometimes things come in 3 of them favor. The other one see the friend embarrass them. Next, they go in the room, laptop, takes a bed sheet, and believe that the positive things in their mind, right? But that is not a solution. And another thing, what you said just now, All of us need more spiritual within ourselves to mold this soul and this body, and we can understand where we come from and where we are going from. And these are very important because let me tell you, Winston, three of my brother who commit suicide, and why I jump in from this important, and one of my cousin who commit suicide. It's important that you can share this and tell the people of Guyana, because some of them is lack of knowledge. They cannot take the pressure, and so the fastest thing what they can do, take little poison, takes a rope. That is fast. That is the solution what we see today, buddy, my brother. Mm-hmm. This is what we see today. Before they turn to God, the fastest thing in a blink of an eye, suicide. And so we call in again, and my role today and function here in this panel here is to my brothers and sisters, mother, father, children, stop these. Go to God. God is important. When God bless you, He bless you forever. So Winston, go ahead.